What are the funding schemes across available like that? Like already
Yes.
59 webinars over on different topics, AI,
Yes.
artificial intelligence, supply chain, like different topics. It is for the all ecosystem partners to understand. Then we will share
very
our details. They can contact also later on like that. Now we
Sure,
can start
sure.
this time, I think.
Sir,
Yes.
we should start now. It's now time 11 o'clock. So Pragya, I'll request you to start with our first speaker.
Just give me a minute. Am I audible? I'm Dr. Ganesh.
Okay.
Okay, please start.
Yes, sir. Good morning, one and all. I welcome everyone to the 160th webinar of the Saturday webinar series. I'm Pragya Mishra, Business Executive at the MoA&FW Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship. The Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship is a center of excellence in Agribusiness Incubation at the National Institute of Agriculture Extension Management, MANAGE. It is one of the leading agribusiness incubators in India. MANAGE CIA has mentored 626 entrepreneurs and incubated 383 startups from various focus areas of Agri and Allied Sectors, having trained startups, agro-processing, post-harvest technology, value addition, farm mechanization, animal husbandry, fisheries, dairy commodity, trading, supply management, and agri-consultancy. The center has tested and provided relentless support to entrepreneurs, helping them fine-tune their ideas and upscale their operations. Today's session is on BIRAC, recognition and supporting innovative ideas. We are delighted to have two esteemed speakers with us today. Our first speaker for our session today is Mr. Ramji. He is the CEO of Atal Incubation Center, Stanford Cellular and Molecular Biology, supported by NITI Aayog. He has worked as Chief Manager, Grants Management Division at IKP Knowledge Park and has worked in Biotechnology Grant of Biotechnology Industry Research Assistant Council. He has experience in managing various national and national grants that support biotechnology research and development startups as well as academia and individuals. He is a part of several advisory and governing boards of incubators, institutional innovation council, and other committees. He is skilled in toxicology, biomedical nanotechnology, biosensors, marine biopolymers, and biophysics. With this brief introduction, I would like to hand over this to Sir. Hello. Yes,
Am I audible? I'm sorry, there may be some background noise. If it is clear, please say okay. Okay,
okay,
that's
sir.
great. Yeah, so I'm just trying to, can you please allow me to share the screen? So that I can share the PPT quickly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have given you the access so that you can able to share the screen.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is it visible, my screen?
It's loading, sir, now. Yes, sir. Good to go, sir.
Is it in the full screen mode?
Yeah, yeah. Sir.
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much for inviting me. No, Dr. Saravanan, actually, about 6 years or more, we engage, especially the agricultural startups. I'm a zoologist, but having some biosensors and those kind of studies and moving to this kind of entrepreneurship ecosystem, I used to actually have a lot of acquaintance with agricultural practices, be it innovation, be it a kind of, innovation in the maybe resistant rice varieties from CCMB, for example, or maybe some kind of post-harvesting technologies and tools, and also other agricultural tools that can be easing farmers for their day-to-day practices. We mentored, I think, at least close to about 100 startups in and outside Telangana region and pan-India. Even the drone technologies to surveillance or try to understand what kind of crop management that we can do. So in this journey of mine, in the past 7-8 years, I think, closely associating with the BIRAC for its schemes, even the ideation in the sense, some may be in the calls, some may be BIRAC's calls. If you can see, actually, you have an idea or you don't have an idea, just step into BIRAC to kind of get nurtured well for your funding programs. That is where we welcome each and every student, scientist, or any other people to walk into our incubators, like Manage or Ag Hub or T Hub or AICCCMB, to understand what is the background of that particular innovator or maybe a student, so that we can actually guide them. Okay, this is the way that you can actually start your journey. So in that aspect related to the today's topic, I can tell you what kind of opportunities that BIRAC is having. At the same time, what kind of the exercises or kind of legwork that an innovator can do to get this kind of small funding. So I think, idea is great. That's what, one small idea can change the world. I think that's where everybody's trying to work out for their ideas. But, other than the science and technology, the business case is another aspect where, we all incubators, Manage and AICCCMB, and we all trying to put those kind of pointers in front of you so that you can connect them more efficiently. So that's where you need to understand what is that thingy that I'm required other than my idea. So that's where the complete business plan, these jargons, no need to worry. If you want to become an entrepreneur, or if you're already an entrepreneur through your journey, today, what is that you're requiring? Today, what is that you would like to understand about regulation? So these kind of things are very much, that's why I'm just quickly showing this slide of, the barriers that you have, the challenges that you may face, and how to mitigate that, and who are your other partners that can actually help nurturing the ideas. So in that sense, knowing the customers, of course, you can say the farmers or farmer producing groups, and also the middleman you may see, or the direct customers that you may be seeing, starting from the field level, customers to door-to-door deliveries, for example. I think you need to understand what kind of pain points that you are having and what kind of target customer segments. You can't, target complete customer segments. You have to segregate them initially so that, the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. In that sense, a basic opportunities that you would like to look for, landscapes, what kind of market landscape, the kind of any competitors or regulatory, and IP. So IP-driven technologies, whether you patent it is non-patent. If you're not able to commercialize, there are models of license. That's where Manage can help you, IKP can help you. So we also can help. So these are the basic exercises that you need to do as an innovator for your wild idea, with a bold execution on that particular idea and persistent. That is where the decision making in each step of your entrepreneurial journey that happen to see your fruits in some time. So think like an entrepreneur, not like a core academician. That is what the message. So I'm not going to detail because it's not a design thinking program today, but briefly I'm trying to outline. I'll share these slides in case if you want, but so you have to question about 30-40 questions for any of these ideas that you may be having. And feasibility, you need to understand. and look for the team and look for the resources and look for your plan of market risks and everything. So that's where the funding coming into picture. India is well equipped with the funding mechanisms today. If you can see the recent 10th report of BIRAC, for example, amazing. The way that BIRAC supported the innovators in the past 10 years, marvelous, who is going to support not only in the medtech sector or maybe in the other industrial biotechnology and all, but having agricultural technologies. So, I mean, quickly, I'd like to show this BIRAC's report only. I just grabbed quickly on this, you have a complete ecosystem today from the BIRAC's perspective to have a kind of networking platforms, basic funding, advanced funding, commercialization funding or licensing funding, and also product scale of funding. So in your journey, I'll show you this slide quickly. You have an idea whether you need a small 10,000 rupees or 10 lakhs you need or 10 crores you need. Which stage of your journey, what kind of funding is there? That is very important for an entrepreneur or an innovator to understand. So in that context, if you closely observe these programs of BIRAC, despite of your, whether you have some data in your hand or your hypothesis is well equipped with a kind of, what you can say, preliminary results to support your hypothesis, but you can discuss with the managers like, Saurabh or, Pragnya or Dr. Saravanan and myself. You come and talk to us and we will be guiding you. These ideas are feasible or possible to take you to the next step, and which kind of small funding that can actually pump you or push you to the next level, and whether you need to put some money before you start your incubation or start your works. We generally discourage incubation also to save your money. That burden should not be on your shoulders. That's where pre-incubation will allow without engaging on a funding, and at the same time virtual incubation mechanisms. So please try to engage with the incubators like us by understanding the mechanism of small funding and the small networking platforms, and you will understand which landscape of funding is suitable for you. You can look at the BIRAC website. If you can see the programs, you will understand. I understand the guidelines as well. And at the same time, for example, if you click onto the call for proposals, the current call, it is for the STEM, women in STEM Act. Like, most probably in December or January, you will get a lot of grants like Academic Innovation Research, PACE grant, AIR, I told you, as BIPP, SBIRA. So from the Sitare grant of, 1 to 10 lakhs, EUA program, small grants, fellowships, and again, Sparsh fellowship of 50,000 rupees per month for 18 months. And then to, you get 5 lakhs mini kickstart grant also. That's also including agriculture and food and nutrition, by the way. And then you will be having some idea to POC for BIG grant and CBD grant. So as you go for the small validation, large validation, regulatory, pre-commercialization grants, commercialization grants. So this landscape of funding is there today. Just you have an idea or you don't have an idea, comment actors. We look for the zeal of the person, whether he or she is coming into the incubator or maybe any of the institute or entrepreneurship cell, just to engage. And our matured startups like Dr. Ganesh or anybody can actually help you such a way to nurture your ideas. What are the steps you can avoid? And so these are the other grants, for you to help. But I'm not going to go detail because this is a kind of teaser for you. Maybe one-on-one interaction. I'm very happy to spend more time when I'm coming back to Hyderabad, when I'm in office. So you look at the NSTEDB, look at the Nidhi Prayas grants that we closed recently, and we picked 8 fellows and the mighty tide grants. Again, if you can see the tech, the third column is agriculture, agri-tech. So landscape is too huge for Indian innovators who would like to explore their entrepreneurship opportunities and other small fellowships, GIT, SIP I mentioned to you, and also postdoc level, PhD level, another round of fellowships that you have. So I'm not going to go for this cycle. Yes, one or two examples I'll tell and I close it. So this is the kind of post-harvesting. My PhD boss would like to start a company. Then he started, there's a 2 layers of plastic layers, if you can see. In between, you put a delta methane, it is not touching the grain or any fruit or something, agricultural commodity. At the same time, outside pests will be repelling. So Hopur Agriculture Centers, they did some kind of trials and they kind of patented it also. So this is one BIRAC supported Sparsh project. 40 lakhs or 45 lakhs they got. So you have an opportunity everywhere. A small thing. See, delta methane is no molecule. How you're actually trying to put it there is the simplest way of doing it. And I don't have much slides about our startups, what they're doing. I mean, he also incubated with us, but we have startups, they're making poultry vaccines. Okay. And also poultry feed, it's having a prebiotics and probiotics because, lot of pumping of antibiotics, how to avoid it. So the challenge here is that only 55 degrees or 60 degrees temperature only, that particular enzymes will be sustained. And if you go for 80 to 90 degrees or 100 degrees to pellet that feed, that efficacy is reduced. So now they are trying to go for a stable such kind of composition for the poultry feed using prebiotic and probiotics. And also other agricultural, like, CCMB scientists, they are now actually looking to do these microbial resistant varieties. Dr. Hiten Patel, for example, that is one way of innovation. He'd like to start his own company to bring more seed varieties, hybrid varieties also. So these are some of the examples that I will quickly mention to you. And also milk proteins, for example, a lot of huge opportunities. How best you can look for some maybe alternate protein, for example, plant-based protein meat. And also plant-based, no, not plant-based, again, biotechnology-based milk proteins for making a milk product in India, because in abroad it is very famous. So our startup Fix44, they made a small expression in a yeast actually, and they got good results, and their small batches are really good, and they got $1.2 million. So anyway, this is AIC CCMB, where we are having, you are all welcome to visit the center and engage with our startups as well. Thank you so much. I mean, I think I just covered in my time, 20 minutes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ramji sir, for giving in a short teaser. I must say, BIRAC offered so many schemes from ideation stage to at a scale-up stage, and at least participants got to know where they can apply, where they can get the more information of the BIRAC. Of course, if any startups or any participants are interested, we are sharing the speakers' details so that you can reach them and you can get the help to apply the startups. And if you have any questions now, you can put it into the chat box, or you can raise the hands directly asking the questions to the speaker that we will take up after the second speaker session. So with this note, we will come our second speaker, Dr. Sudharam Ganesh Ram sir. So Pragya, I'll request to introduce him first.
Yes, sir. Dr. Ganesh, sir, are you with us, sir? Hello? Okay, I'll carry on with the introduction to our second speaker.
Give me a second.
So,
Am I audible?
yes. Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, yeah, great. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So our second speaker for this session is Dr. Sundaram Ganesh Ram. He is the Managing Director of Applied Genomics Private Limited. He has 20 years of teaching and research experience at Tamil Nadu Agriculture University. He is experienced in plant genetics resources and molecular marker assisted breeding and characterization. He is skilled in computer programming for plant breeding designs and molecular data analysis. His research areas include reverse genetic approaches, conservation research, seeds and vegetative propagules, and utilization of plant genetic resources through allele mining approaches. Allied Genomics Private Limited is an Indian biotech service company specializing in the application of genomics in various industries. They collaborate with life science industries to enhance production capabilities through genomics. Their facilities include next-gen sequencing, real-time PCR, high-throughput genotyping, genome editing, and bioinformatics. The company is supported recent Innovation and Incubation Council, Chennai, and is a grant by Biotechnology Ignition Grant. So with this brief introduction, I would like to hand over the session to Sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Bogania.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Saravanan, sir, for the opportunity given to us. And let me start my presentation. And of course, we were fortunate enough to get a big grant, BIRAC big grant, which I feel it's a boon to us as well as for any Indian startup. The BIRAC funding is always a boon. It helps a lot. I'm going to share my experiences about that as well as some other activities what we are taking up at present. Can I have the next slide, please? Yeah. So AGPL or Applied Genomics Private Limited is a early startup. It's a very young startup. Hardly we are 2 years old. And our work is we are focusing to support the seed industry's R&D. And we would like to specialize on the NGS. We have our NGS platforms, RT-PCR, high throughput genotyping is one of the key issues where we are concentrating. And also we are specializing in bioinformatics applications and genomics. These are our key areas where we would like to concentrate. And we are doing a lot of experiments as well as a lot of projects around these areas. Next slide, please. Thank you. Next slide. Yeah, maybe that it's a very interesting story that where we felt the necessity for indigenizing, right? So indigenization is very important, because, we had a rice. In fact, Dr. Saravanan might be knowing this. This is a low GI rice, which was also awarded the Seminati Manage Award earlier. And, it is a patented product and which was supported by me. During my tenure at TNAU, we developed this rice and it was shared to another private company. And of course, it is always easy to develop a product, but when it comes to maintenance, it's going to be the most difficult task, especially when it comes to plant breeding. And that is where this rice is actually a mutant rice, where we have pyramided almost 5 mutations together in the starch biosynthesis pathway. Still, this rice is a leading rice and among the low glycemic index rices being marketed throughout the country. But of course, the major challenge was in maintaining the quality. And of course, one of the reasons was that the mutant, one of the mutation that has been identified in one of the starch synthesis gene is reverting. That means it gets back to the wild type format. So there is a necessity for us to go for a genotyping to maintain the purity when it comes to nucleus seed production. So every cycle of seed production requires a kind of genotyping and selection of, the mutant types. So that is going to be the key area. And when we approached, the industry for a possible genotyping, the cost that was projected was around 35 lakhs for 1 year, almost for a seed cycle. The cost projected was 35 lakhs when we import all the reagents required here. So it is almost impossible for a startup, to invest 35 lakhs. That is where we felt that. So there are two key areas where genotyping is genotyping requires 2 key areas. One is DNA extraction, followed by genotyping itself. So the cost projected was 35 lakhs by Thermo Fisher and many other multinational companies. This is where we felt indigenization is essentially required, and that is where our idea started. Next slide, please. Can I switch over the slides by myself? Yeah, thank you. So this is the opportunity which we saw, and that the DNA extraction globally, there is a growth rate of 11.4%, annual growth rate of 11.4%. And this is, the table on the right and the bottom gives an idea about the number of DNA extractions being done by many seed industries. Being a plant breeder by training, I thought this is a great opportunity for me to explore and to offer cost affordable DNA extraction kits for the seed industries. That is where we started our research, and that is where we ended up in a big funding. Next slide, please. Yeah. So this is the pain point which we would like to address. Generally seed companies, they go for GOT, for maintenance. I think many of the agriculture people will be knowing this. Their GOT test, which is generally conducted in the field for assessing a seed quality parameters. And it takes almost 3 to 6 months to complete this process for every seed lot. It takes almost 3 to 6 months, depending on the crop duration. So it is a time-consuming process. So that is where the company switched over. This was the earlier, the classical approach was always to grow in the field and assess the purity. Later on, as the technology developed by 1990s, all the seed companies switched over to molecular GOT. Next slide. And of course, field GOT was a time-consuming process, whereas molecular GOT was, instantaneous. In fact, we can produce results. The companies can produce results within 2 to 3 weeks. But once again, there are 2 pain points here that we would like to address. One is the DNA extraction, which is not easy with the conventional methods, and the second one is always electrophoresis, which is again a painstaking process. Many of us in genetics should be knowing these 2 processes not easy. These are the 2 areas where we would like to address, or maybe where we wanted to adopt automation. So that is the reason, we ventured into exploring these 2 areas. Next slide, please. Yeah. So maybe that, the big grant and one more funding for us was from Startup India Seed Fund. The big grant was allocated or maybe allotted for us to develop an indigenous automated DNA extraction system, which would be very high throughput and very cost effective were the objectives of this. And the second one, or maybe the Startup India Seed Fund was assigned to us to develop a genotyping reagent, an allele specific PCR based, which is similar to the the COVID kit which we developed, which we are using earlier for all our viral RNA detection. A similar kind of technology is what we are trying to use it right now. And there again, we received a funding of almost 40 lakhs from Startup India Seed Fund. We also received a big grant of almost 50 lakhs. So this is the funding support we had. And right now, I'll just go through the slides. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is our journey towards the big grant. We started working on, earlier we had a sister concern where we started working on the magnetic bead RNA extraction for COVID as early as 2020. And later we just moved as the applied genomics was incorporated by August 2021 after my VRS from DNAU. So we started working on we started researching on the modification of the magnetic beads for plant DNA extraction. And then we generated some preliminary data. It is always important that whenever you look for any grant, please see that you have enough preliminary data generated. That is going to be very supportive for all your drafting the project. So we did some preliminary work and we were quite successful, but still a lot of improvement has to be done to achieve.
Ganesh sir, we're not able to hear you. Ganesh sir, can you hear me? Hello.
Grantees.
Ganesh sir, can you hear me? I'm sorry to interrupt you in between, but we lost you in the last 30 seconds, sir. If you can repeat it once.
Yeah, am I audible now, sir?
Yeah, you're audible, but we lost last 30 seconds, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, sir. I'll just go through the slide once again. Maybe that, we started our research on magnetic beads with COVID RNA with one of our sister concern earlier. And then we slowly moved on and we were able to market with our basic research, with our research support from myself. They were able to market almost 10 million extractions, RNA extractions, and we brought down the price. As we all know that we earlier, Thermo Fisher marketed the RNA kits for 600 rupees. because of the intervention of Indian industries, it was brought down to almost for 50 rupees or even less. I remember those situations where we even sold for rupees 20 per extraction. So that is why the COVID testing came down. The cost of COVID testing came down from 4,000 to almost 400 at the end of the COVID pandemic. And then we started the applied genomics by 2021. And we intensified our research on magnetic beads for DNA extraction. So then, that we have to modify a lot of chemistries because plant DNA extraction is not easy. So it involves so many, kind of secondary metabolites are involved. So that's why we want to modify the chemistries there. We modified successfully. We generated some preliminary data. So I mentioned that preliminary data is very important for any startup to generate to get a funding towards the funding because, you're drafting, you need to present all your preliminary experience with your data. That is very important. And then luckily we got a call in BIRAC. It's of course a cyclic call that appeared by January 2022, and we applied for the project by February 2022. Then we got the association of NAM as we applied, or maybe we requested NAM to be our big partner. And in the application process, there is an option where you can put any of the big partners, and NAM is an excellent partner for any agri-bio startup. So that is why we included NAM. And then, it was a very wonderful experience with NAM, right? We were guided through the entire process. We had a very good mentorship with NAM. And of course, we also, we underwent a wonderful process during the 2 months period. And then we got the grant by July 2022. Within a period of 2 months, we got a grant of 50 lakhs. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, this is about the grant what we got, and and these are as initial for 6 months, it's almost like 18 months, almost like 14th month right now we are in. We are almost in the 3rd phase. We have received all the 3 tranches of grant now. So we have made all the modifications to the magnetic bead for DNA isolation. We have tested it. We have functionalized the magnetic beads. We tested it in-house. And right now we have also validated in the customer sites. Already we have sold magnetic beads for almost more than 10 lakhs right now. Rupees 10 lakhs. We have already done the marketing. And the 3rd phase is also done. So maybe that we are also expanding our marketing activities. Even last week we had, even our guys have gone into, for demonstrations in seed industries in Nagpur as well as in Jalna. Shortly they will be demonstrating. Already we have association with Ganga Kaveri seeds, Advanta, and so on. So our marketing is expanding. So it is truly a successful story, and which I'm very happy to share with the audience. Next slide, please. Yeah, see, this is the outline of the funding what we had. So BIRAC supports everything, almost everything what you need for doing any research. We got an equipment grant of 14 lakhs for a quality control equipment, and consumables is also supported. Any consumables for any chemicals or any other consumables, whatever you think which is required in your project. Manpower support is another wonderful thing. We were funded almost 12 lakhs for manpower, and right now we have 2 scientific personnel working with us with this funding. And of course, we have incubation services grant of 1 lakh, and also travel. Then of course, outsourcing was one of the interesting areas where we have designed a machine. Right now, we are coming out in a collaboration with the engineering industry nearby to us in Coimbatore. Right now, we also started manufacturing an automated DNA extractor, which I will show in the next slide. Of course, we also have some contingency grants. So altogether, it is a very pleasant, it's a very excellent support as a startup. You always feel that. I don't think there is any other option where you can get 50 lakhs as a grant. So this is a very big opportunity for any startup. Please try this. We are always, we will always be helpful. And we are always here to share our experiences. In fact, I'm also one of the mentors supporting all this activity right now at NAM. So it is a very good relationship we have developed with NAM. Next slide, please. Yeah, these are the products, almost 12 variants of DNA extraction kits that we have developed, where we have options for all the crops, including difficult crops, as well as forestries. We have developed kits. We are also developing kits for diagnostics purpose, human diagnostics also. We are developing kits at a much cheaper cost. than any industry can ever afford for. And on the right side, you can see the photograph of the machine, of a small machine, which we have developed in collaboration with an engineering industry here. And the cost of this machine, almost a similar machine from Thermo Fisher, is going to be around 35 lakhs, where we are marketing it for hardly 3 lakhs, almost 1 ton cost. So that is the power of indigenization. These machines are always good, and they are very sturdy. So we see that we also support the seed industries with full automation. And with this kind of a setup, any seed industry can easily extract DNA from almost 4,000 to 5,000 samples a day with two technician support, which was not possible with the conventional traditional options. Next slide, please. Yeah, and this is about the relationship what we have with NAM. I don't say it is a relationship; it's almost like we are partners. We are being supported everywhere. We had a very good mentorship. In fact, on the lighter side, I had one of my students as my mentor in this project, which always happens. And of course, we always find new funding opportunities. For instance, we are also applying for a new funding opportunity from NABARD through NAM right now. And we are well connected. Our NAM helps us to connect with many seed industries right now. And we are also looking for a physical space at NAM. NAM is coming up with a building shortly. So I hope we'll get a physical incubation support also. Of course, there is no doubt tech support from many scientific people with ICR. We are always getting it. And and information is another key area where we find a lot of information with NAM. And that their databases are very strong as of the agri industries are concerned. So a lot of information for us. And so it's a wonderful support. And in fact, we had the opportunity of, having NAM director with us in our laboratory, as well as Dr. Sendil, the chairman of AIDEA, is always supportive to us. He has been with us several times, and even last week he called me and he wants to visit our lab. So a lot of wonderful collaborations, a lot of wonderful hand-holding is, it's really exciting. Marvelous support is what we are getting from NAM. This is all because of big BIRAC support, and we are very thankful about that. Next slide. Yeah, just this is a revenue generator what we have generated with the DNA extraction kit so far. Hardly within 6 months, this is a revenue that we have generated. And next slide, please. I just want to rush through. Yeah, these are our customers, including my own alma mater is my customer right now. I'm very happy about it. And we do have seed industries with us, as well as a very interesting company by name Jetropower, who are working on converting Jetrofa into an edible oil. It's a very interesting chapter, which I will be happy to present later in another talk. It's a very interesting project which we are working now, where we want to convert Jetrofa oil into a non-toxic option. And once again, we are also working with many animal sciences industries. Next slide, please. I said there are 2 public funded projects, one from BIRAC, which I already explained, and also we have a Startup India seed funding for development of allele-specific PCR reagent, which is for genotyping, which we are almost in the 80% stage. We are in the process of validation. Next slide, please. Yeah, these are some of the private industry collaborations what we have right now. Yeah, I think I'll share the slides with Praganya, and if you're interested, anyone can go through this. Next slide, please. Yeah, and of course, we are also continuing our research. I always support many interns with us, and he's one of our employees. He's doing his PhD in low GI cereal development. He's working on low GI screening for in sorghum. Next slide. I'm just rushing through. Next slide, please. And of course, we are also in the process of developing acyanogenic sorghum for fodder purpose with one of our intern, Darshan. Yeah, next slide. So we have a lot of interns. Intern support is also very essential for any startup. We are also working on a micropropagation for Jetrofa hybrids in collaboration with Jetropower. Next slide. Yeah. Then we are also working on a secondary agriculture, is another area where we would like to concentrate. We are working on cordyceps, which is a wonderful mushroom, what I can say, because of many of the medicinal properties it has, and also many nutritional properties. We are in the process of, we are cloning the genes of cordyceps for enhancing the cordycepin, a magical alkaloid in this.
Just a minute, Dr. Ganesh.
Yeah, yes, sir.
this better BIRAC related your experience, how you got the funding, how others can apply, those type of things will be much more useful instead of more other work. We'll take it up other time. Today it is mostly devoted to BIRAC. Then if you are few minutes explain on BIRAC, how they can apply, where to, what are the challenges like that. Something related to BIRAC, that will be good. Yeah.
Certainly. Next slide, please. I'm almost ending. Yeah, that's about the patterns what we had right now. Next slide. Yeah, this is about the team, and we have a good team with us. Yeah. So about just to share our experience with BIRAC. The applications, it's a very simple application. You have a lot of information on the website of BIRAC. And I think for any startup, it is always, we always start with any ideation phase. And BIRAC has very specific layering for different, the kind of projects, starting from ideation, and then we move to, kind of ideation. Proof of concept is the first stage. And then, big comes under that. And of course, we have SIPRI, where we can move to the TRL level of up to 7 or 8 with SIPRI kind of projects, where it supports for upscaling. And then once again, for future, a very prominent upscaling, we have projects like DIPP and so on. So there are different layers which we have very clear, a kind of information on the BIRAC website. And there is a frequent calls, very cyclic calls, which is always published over the BIRAC website. And periodical calls are available. And for whatever help you need, it's always better to get incubator and incubation center. Any startup has to do that, because you can get a lot of guidance. And even in the case of big, even an individual can do that. But I don't think it is easy, right? It's not that easy until otherwise you are a very expert. A big expert around the field. It's always better to get incubator in the incubation center, either like manage or norm. Only then your chances of picking up a project is always easy. So ideally, go through the guidelines. They are very, easily available. It hardly takes, of course, you have to generate preliminary data. You should have some scientific process involved. That's very important. Only then you are likely to get through these kind of projects. So these are my suggestions. So maybe, and if any help is required, we are always happy to contribute as a mentor. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ganesh sir, for giving insights that how you started with your idea. It's a really inspiring story that the problem with the extraction of DNA is really a tough and it's a complicated process. But you come up with a very good magnetic bed innovation device which will help to extract DNA at a very cost-effective manner. It's really wonderful to hear from you, and the support that you received from the BIRAC, it's commendable. Within 2 years, you are able to get the grant and you utilize it for development of this product. So in that way, many starters or the participants who joined, they are also thinking that in what way they can take the advantage of this scheme. So I'm requesting again to the participants that if you have any questions, you can put in the chat box so that we will take up one by one, or you can raise your hands directly to ask the questions. So you can take it, or you can ask question directly to the speakers. So we'll start with our next portion of the session, that is related to question and answer. So I have a couple of questions I noted down, especially to the if Ramji sir is there. Sir, many calls are. Yeah, sir. So, what happens many times the startups are not aware that at what stage they should apply, and it means maybe they should apply for EUA program, or they should apply for BIG grant, or maybe the next scale stages. So, in that case, how they can finalize, or how they can decide it where they should apply for the right grant, so their chances of getting support on the BIRAC will increase. So if you can please give us a little bit idea to our participants.
Yeah. So basically, anybody under 35 years of age, they are actually suitable for the spouse program, for example. And EUA is for students anyway, because if any university or college is having EUA center, or ACIC, for example, again, similar to BIRAC's EUA program, ACIC also is there. So ACIC is from AIM, by the way. So they have this kind of opportunities. Just step into their university IIC. This is to be known by all the faculty, students, and especially students, because there are so many avenues and credentials through this MHRD's NISP policy, National Innovation Startup Policy. So if you go to the IIC or Entrepreneurship Development Cell, they will tell you, okay, so whether you are eligible for this small 50,000 rupees fellowship, or maybe some 5 lakhs or 7 lakhs grant. So that is one thing. And coming to the sports program, it is theme based. For example, you may be having a zeal inside to work in the food and nutrition, or waste to value, or maybe maternal and child health, or maybe aging. So now the new calls will be coming up in from most probably January or sometime. So students can actually, last year students, the base eligibility is about BTech 4th year, okay, or maybe agriculture BSc once they completed, or maybe MSc if they're about to complete last year. Those students are eligible for this kind of SPORS programs. And remaining all grassroots level, if you can see the National Innovation Fund, NIF, and Srishti Foundation's programs, they are meant for these students only. The GIT program, GYT, Gandhian Young Innovation Technologies. So now the University Innovation Clusters and the GYTAs all together are coming under the umbrella of EUA Center. So I think they need to talk. The students need to talk and start the dialogue. And we'll happy to. The universities are happy to guide them.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for
And
giving
just
the idea.
adding one more thing is that even if they are not fellowships or something, if like Dr. Ganesh got this grant, BIG, so even if you have an idea, if you have your colleagues, team members, multi-diverse team members, and some good advisors and good mentors, you can build a proposal to get a BIRAC's BIG grant also. Many people, they don't have data also. Without data also, the idea is having some kind of excitement that something can happen to our society, and if the committee identifies some kind of feasibility, they can push it. So that also can be possible for all of them to look at BIRAC's idea to POC grants as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for this explanation. Although the details and the eligibility criteria is available on the website, but we can see most of the attendees, they are maybe the students, agri students, or maybe the budding entrepreneurs, they are who are looking for such a grant, so they get more insights through your answer. I can see in the attendees, Yash Paliwal has raised his hand. So Yash, you can directly ask question to the speakers. You have any question? Yash, can you hear me? Hello, Yash.
Yes, sir.
Yash, you have any question? I can see you have raised a hand.
सर वो हैंड रेस करने के लिए उन्होंने बोला था, इस वजह से किया सर.
I see. Okay, no, so you don't have any question. Okay, not an issue. I can see Darshani is there to raise. She raised her hand. Saurabh, can you unmute her? Miss Darshani, can you hear me? Yes. Miss G. Darshani, can you hear me? You have any question to the speakers? Hello, Darshani, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, you have any question to the speakers? I can see you have put the raise hand in the chat box.
There is no doubt, sir.
Okay, so you don't have any question. Yeah, fine. I can see Ramesh has raised his hand. Ramesh, do you have any question?
Currently, I'm Ramesh. We are working on farm mechanization. Currently, we are at the prototype stage. Next, we are looking for some 10 lakhs grant. My question is that how to execute that? Like 10 lakhs is a big amount. How to execute within a shorter duration, like 9 months to 12 months duration? Some tips I need, what is the best strategy to utilize the amount for the in an optimal way and efficient way.
Maybe Ramji sir, you want to take this question? Or
Maybe
maybe Ganesh sir?
Ganesh, if he can tell based on his experience
Yes.
of spending the.
Fine. Yeah, can I
Yes.
take up this question? Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. See, the first thing is that, always think big. That is why the big grant is always fun. Think big and make your activity much more stronger. And you can think about a funding of 50 lakhs. That is highly possible with BIG grant. When you have a proof of, a kind of preliminary data, if you have, you said you already have a prototype, which you can easily demonstrate to the committee and get it done. For your funding to be, you also asked a question about the expenditure part, how to do it. There is already very clear guidelines, and also, that the project is already given very specific heads. The funding is distributed in specific heads, starting from manpower, consumables, and the travel and so on. So there is a specific. If you can just go through the outline of the funding, so there is a excellent guideline that is provided, and you have to plan your project. As an expert, you know how to spend it. For instance, how much of consumables required, or maybe how much you want to outsource. These are the things which you should have a kind of clear roadmap before you start any project. I think by the time you can work out as a team, either you can include your financial managers also, maybe those maybe like your auditors or someone else who knows some scientific auditing. You can also involve them, or maybe you can take, there are so many economists, agriculture economists around in many institutions like NAM as well as in Manage. They are, very, they have so much of experience to guide you through the expenditure process. It is not that difficult to have a clear-cut expenditure. But only thing is that we have to be very honest, and we have to do, we have to achieve the milestones in a way that it will end up with a good product. That is a key issue behind any of these projects. And these are designed for business, and this is not for making money. That is one thing which any startup has to understand. So if you have that in your mind, then naturally you'll be very honest in achieving all your milestones. Right? So take the guidance from financial experts. So that will be the right option for you to have a good expenditure. Thank you.
Yeah, Ramji sir, you want to add something?
I'll just add quickly. I tell all the innovators, startups, don't replicate the structure and the equipments. India is well equipped with shareable facilities with many of the institutions, and also third-party outsourcing agencies. You spend much of the money of getting the relevant data from those outsourcing parties rather than doing everything. You want to buy an equipment in the lab and to start something. Don't do that. So that is where is very tricky. Your consumables or base requirements and base manpower. In case if you are putting BIG or maybe some other small grants, you can't even go for bigger manpower support also. So meticulously think on the relevant and certified third party who can generate the data to finish that program to prove your concept is working or not. I think that is very tricky. So please plan, and several people like Amit and many other people will be. Thank you.
Ramesh, I hope you got the answer. And yes, sir, this is a very important question, which is actually required to guide to all the participants while they are dealing with any sort of grant. They should look into the milestones and in what way they can utilize these funds, whatever the activities assigned. So it's a very insightful answer you got. There is one question asked by the Kiran Patil. I feel that this is a very common question, maybe to the other participants also, sir. That as I understood, the program is for the biotech, and we are into the food product business. How you support, or the BIRAC supports for any food business, particularly in a BIRAC, grants or fields, sir. So can you give some clarification on that? So if the startup is not into the BIRAC, can other sector startup come up?
I read the question.
Yeah.
So even food related products also, in case of any biotechnological interventions, okay, if any kind of technology, fermentation technology is involved, or maybe formulations are involved and efficacy is being studied. Okay, so is it a known food, traditional food that is available, or you would like to bring into the market the known food only, or if you'd like to tweak the processes there, modifying them, So that is where I don't understand what product you are having. Otherwise, you can actually plan such kind of things. So,
So we're not
whether it,
here. Ramji sir, can you know whether
Yeah.
yeah,
That is
I'm sorry.
not.
Yeah, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Are you? Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
sir, we are able to
So,
hear you.
so that is one thing. And secondly, yes, there are some schemes even for the BIRAC Sparsh scheme. You know, the Mahua is, Vipapu that is called. Okay, so for example, that Mahua laddu, including other grains and all, they are actually kept it, and so they actually added Mahua as a flavor. So this way, you have to think what product where it is fitting in. So good scope is there for sure. And I'll quickly go to the other questions also. How we get help from fundraising this project? Shaligram Sony, I think, asking. So fundraising, first, as I mentioned to you in my talk, first to conceptualize, plan for a nice, business case. How you can productize first of all. Okay. And which stage are you in your journey? Is it idea stage or small validation stage or in vitro studies or field studies? Depending on that, we are there to help you. Either seed fund is okay for you or pre-seed is okay for you, grant is okay for you. So that way, we are happy to help you how to raise funds. For example, in our incubator, every quarter or every half year, at least 3 to 4 startups will get government grants and at least 1 or 2 will be getting private funding as well. So this way we'll be helping fundraising. And yes, I think these are the only questions I guess quickly I saw. Sorry, if no questions, maybe I can please excuse me because our deputy CM is coming for this meeting now. So we have to go inside. So
yeah, not an issue, sir. Maybe if questions are there, we are sharing the speaker's details so that you can reach to Ramji sir. But thank you so much for joining us. Although Ganesh sir is with us, so he will try to answer a few questions are there. Thank you, Ramji
Yeah.
sir, for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ramji.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for
Dr.
joining
Saravanan.
with us, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Of course, always happy to join with manage these activities and the great job that you are doing, sir. Take care, sir. Take care, all of you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ramji, sir. We'll
Thank you, Ganesh.
Thank you.
We'll meet sometime, Ganesh. Thanks.
Sometimes. Sure. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Ganesh sir, probably I can take one more question as time is there. I can
Yeah,
see.
I think I had one more point on the biotech related issue, which was raised by one of the parties. Biotech now a very diversified term. It doesn't mean that we have to get into DNA, RNA, and molecules. It's not that issue. Biotech as of now, it is any technology related to biotechnology is classified as biotechnology. That is there are many projects even without DNA, RNAs are being funded by BIRAC. I know that there are so many big grantees as well as SIPRI grantees who come with artificial intelligence as an option, and even farm machinery is well supported. There is no, demarcation like, it has to have some value on biology. That's the only requirement. Nothing else, there is no specific boundaries now for biotechnology. Biotechnology is a tool, and whatever the technology is going to help us, in increasing production and productivity. That's it. That is about biotechnology. So there is no any boundaries for BIRAC funding. So that is the message I want to convey to the.
Thank you, Ganesh sir, for clarifying it. I hope the startups, those who are in other sectors also, there is an opportunity to avail this funding support in a BIRAC as well. As time is also running out, but I'll take one last question. I can see if Dr. Vivek or Vivek Thakur, someone has raised his hand. Vivek, can you hear me? You want to ask the question? I can unmute both the Vivek. I don't know who raised the hands. Vivek, you want to ask the question? Or Dr. Debojit Jyoti is there. You want to ask the question? You can ask. Yeah. If no questions are there, you may actually reach to the speakers for if you don't get any answers for your questions due to time out. But before to end this session, I would like to make few announcement like BIRAC is one of the scheme which is supporting agri starters, but Along with that, Manage has running a program called RKVY-RAFTAAR, for which the ideation startups will get 5 lakh rupees, and for these seed stage startups will get up to 25 lakh rupees as a grant support from the Ministry of Agriculture. Manage as a knowledge partner. We have opened this call for the cohort 10. So please apply to this program to get the support from the Manage side. And along with that, very recent update that Manage has launched the applications for the Manage Agri Startup Award 2023. Their link and applications are open on our website. You can see in a few minutes in our social media pages. To get recognize your startup from the Manage, please apply to this startup award, or you can share this link with the startups who are known. Along with that, the starters or the students who are looking for to know the basics of the entrepreneurship and the startup ecosystem, for them, pre-incubation program, we have launched it. So do apply for this program, which is a paid training program for 15 days, where you will get the certifications and the mentoring support from the industrial experts. And another announcement that please do follow our social media pages where you will get the regular updates related to Saturday webinar and startup ecosystem related things on our pages. So you will get the recent updates from our end. So with this note, I would like to say thank you, Ramji sir and the Ganesh sir, for joining with us and sharing your experience about the BIRAC funding and your startup journey, sir. And all the participants for patiently listening them and asking the questions. And last in the list, but not in the list, Dr. Sarwan Raj sir and my Manage CIA team for arranging this webinar. Thank you so much. We can see you in the next webinar, which is on the next Saturday on 4th of November on New Gen IDEX schemes for the starters. So see you in the next week. Thank you all.
Dr.
Thank
Saurabh,
you, Dr. Ganesh. Yeah.
I'll
Thank
take
you,
a
Dr.
minute.
Ganesh. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a minute, and I would like to thank Sarananji. And even though I have not met him so far, but I heard a lot of things about him, and he's such a wonderful
Yes, okay, sir. Okay. So thank you for joining with us, sir. It is nice to hear you today, and we'll thank you for very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, team Manage, for the opportunity. Thank you very much. Thank you.